Have you ever fallen for someone who made you feel invisible? Someone who gave you just enough to keep you hoping, but never enough to make you feel secure? You tell yourself, if I just love harder, if I just show them how good my heart is, maybe they'll finally choose me. But they never do. And still you stay. You replay every text, every moment, every little spark that made you feel seen, even if it was just for a second. But here's the truth I had to face. We don't just fall for unavailable people, we're addicted to the emotional chase. Because somewhere deep inside, we believe love must be earned through pain. Pause, soft breath. Today, we're going to talk about why we chase what hurts us and how to finally stop mistaking pain for passion. Hey, beautiful soul, welcome back to Way of the Wise Owl. I'm your host, Doug Marie, and you know we don't hide from truth here. We walk straight into it. This episode is going to sting a little because we're talking about emotional unavailability, the pattern of falling for people who can't meet us where we are. You know the type, the distant lover, the almost relationship, the person who makes you feel like you're too much for wanting consistency. I've been there, and I used to think those relationships were just bad luck. But over time, I realized something deeper. The love I chased always mirrored the love I denied myself. When we're emotionally unavailable to ourselves, when we avoid our own pain, when we disconnect from our worth, we subconsciously chase people who reinforce that emptiness. And until we heal the wound that confuses chaos for chemistry, we'll keep repeating the same story, just with different names. Let's define this clearly. Emotional unavailability is when someone, or even you, cannot fully connect on an emotional level. They may care, they may even love you in their own way, but they can't be present. They can't meet you emotionally, vulnerably, or consistently. They might say, I'm not ready for a relationship. I just need space. You deserve better. But instead of listening, we romanticize the challenge. We think if I can make them love me, I'll finally feel worthy. That's where the cycle begins, on the dance of hope, anxiety, and heartbreak. Why does this matter? Because this pattern isn't about them, it's about you. About your nervous system, your childhood wounds, and your beliefs about love. When love has always been unpredictable, you equate uncertainty with excitement. When affection was inconsistent growing up, you learned to confuse emotional withdrawal with passion. So you chase the unavailable not because you're weak, but because your heart is chasing something familiar. My story, my transformation moment, I remember the moment I realized I was addicted to the unavailable. There was this man, charming, magnetic, unpredictable. He knew how to make me feel like I was the only one until I wasn't. He'd disappear for days, and every time he came back, I'd let him, because his return felt like proof that I mattered. But one day, after another silent treatment, I found myself crying on the bathroom floor, phone in hand, waiting for a text that never came. And I remember whispering, why do I keep doing this to myself? That moment changed me. Because for the first time, I stopped asking why he wouldn't love me and started asking why I kept loving someone who couldn't. It hit me. I was chasing an old wound. I was trying to earn the love I didn't receive when I needed it most. That realization hurt, but it also set me free. Healing began when I understood that unavailable love feels magnetic because it mirrors our unresolved pain. And the moment we stop mistaking emotional starvation for deep connection, we start reclaiming our power. If you're listening to this and you recognize yourself in my story, please know this. You're not broken. You're conditioned. And conditioning can be rewritten. One, stop romanticizing the bare minimum. When someone gives you crumbs, don't call it a feast. Stop confusing mixed signals with deep connection. Start noticing consistency, not intensity. Love isn't supposed to feel like emotional gambling. It should feel like peace. Two, identify the root of the attraction. Ask yourself, who does this person remind me of emotionally? What does their distance trigger in me? What am I hoping to prove by winning their love? Usually, the unavailable person represents a parent, past lover, or wound you haven't fully faced. Once you name the pattern, it starts losing its power. Three, learn to sit in emotional discomfort. The reason we chase what hurts is because stillness feels unbearable. But that stillness is where the truth reveals itself. When the urge to text or fix them rises, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, what feeling am I trying to avoid right now? 4, reparent your inner child. The little version of you still believes love is something you earn, but you can teach her otherwise. Speak to her softly. You don't have to chase love. You deserve to receive it freely. Start nurturing yourself the way you wanted others to. That's how self love becomes real, not just a quote. 5. Set boundaries as acts of self respect. Boundaries are not punishments, they're protection. They say, my peace matters more than your inconsistency. When someone shows you they're unavailable, believe them. And instead of trying to change them, change your response. When you stop chasing the unavailable, something miraculous happens. You start feeling calm in relationships that once made you anxious. You stop begging for closure because you understand self validation is the ultimate closure. You become magnetized not by mystery but by mutuality. You'll notice a shift where once chaos felt exciting, now it feels exhausting. And what used to feel boring, consistency, safety, emotional maturity, begins to feel like home. That's when you know you've healed. When peace feels like love, not danger. So, my love, if you take one thing from today's episode, let it be this. You cannot receive love from someone who fears their own reflection. Stop chasing potential. Stop trying to convince people to choose you. Start choosing yourself. Because when you finally love the parts of you that were once desperate for attention, unavailable love loses its grip. You do not heal by fixing the unavailable, you heal by becoming available to yourself. And that's the real freedom. Thank you for sharing this space with me today. If this episode touched your heart, please share it with someone who's caught in the cycle of loving the unavailable. You never know whose healing might begin with hearing your story. Until next time, my beautiful soul, start typing or insert using Ask AI Plagiarism Checker. Well done. Your text didn't match anything in our billions of academic and online sources. No copied text detected. 0%. Citation style. Apa